I played a gig this past weekend, so while I've got my rig together, I want to show you what I'm using in 2023 and how it's changed since my previous setup. For me, 2022 was all about FRFR, full range flat response, and I gave it a really good go in a perfect world, in a perfect live situation with total control, a good sound engineer and time. You can't beat this setup in my opinion. I love everything about it, but my gigging situation is far from that perfect scenario, so for me, FRFR is out. At least for now. So 2023, I'm taking it back and I'm using real amps. At least I'm kind of meeting halfway because I'm still using my Line 6 HX Stomp for my sounds. I love it, I think it sounds amazing, and clearly it's very convenient, but I need to feel something behind me. In those first few rows, they need to hear something. It's fine going direct for the people at the back of the venue or maybe in the middle, but for the people standing closer to the stage or in the centre, they're not getting any guitars with no cab on stage. A whole load of drums, but no guitar. My previous rig was all about space saving and lightweight and convenience, and I want to kind of keep those requirements in mind. Most of the venues that I play either have a cab there, or I'm happy to bring along a 212 or even a 412, but I just don't want to be dragging out these heavy heads as well. And living in the time that we do, luckily you don't have to anymore. So I have three lightweight options to amplify the HX Stomp. The Black Star Amped 1, the Harley Benson GPA 100 and the Orange Pedal Baby. I love the Amped 1, it sounds really good and it's loud enough, but I like to use it for my YouTube pedal demos, and I would rather it lived here in the studio, permanently set up and ready to go. The Harley Benson is pretty good, nice form factor and sounds good. I did a small tour with it last year and found that it struggled to keep up with my drummer when using a 16 ohm cab. It was okay because the cabs were mic'd up, but the onstage monitoring did suffer because of it. The Orange Pedal Baby has more than enough power, even at 16 ohms due to its Class AB output section. The form factor is perfect, it sits on the cab nicely, and the 2-band global EQ is very good. This is what I'm going to be using. So as I mentioned, my tones and effects come from this HX Stomp. This one is in Stormtrooper White, but it's exactly the same as a standard HX Stomp. I've got this cool screen protector on it as well because I sweat loads on stage. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description to where you can buy one of these. There's a couple of places online. I'm using it in snapshot mode so that my delay and reverb spill over between sounds and there's no gaps when switching tones. So I can have 3 sounds or snapshots per song. This means that I need an external foot switch to switch between presets. So I'm using this Mosky 2-button foot switch, which has been really good so far. I think they're about 15 or 20 pounds. Well worth getting to expand your HX Stomp's functionality. Then, because all 5 buttons are assigned to different functions, I'm using an external tuner. This is the Korg Pitch Black Mini. It saves space and it works really well live. It's clear and easy to see. I like to go wireless when I gig. I feel less restricted, and I also get less electric shocks in the mouth from microphones in venues with questionable wiring. I'm still using this Line 6 Relay G30 that I bought in 2010. It's never let me down. The only weak point I found in these units is the belt clip on the transmitter. They always seem to break, but now I put a pouch on my strap that's permanently attached and it works really well. And speaking of straps, I'm using these locking straps from D'Addario. They've got these little locking bits at the end. I actually first bought these because I wanted to have something for YouTube demos and reviews without having to modify guitars that weren't mine. I normally put shallow locking strap locks on all my own guitars, so having a non-locking strap kind of feels really wrong, even if it is just for a demo video. For a pedal board, I'm using this Pedal Train Metro 16, and for power, I'm using the True Tone One Spot Pro CS6 low profile power supply. It's expensive, about £130, but very good. I was using a cheaper £50 Fame version last year that seemed really good at the time, but I ran into loads of isolation and noise issues. Also, you can power the True Tone with a IEC cable or kettle lead. The Fame version was a flimsy 12-volt power adapter that I broke at gigs twice. What I did learn at the recent gig was that my pedal board isn't quite arranged as well as it could be. The tuner is slightly too close to the HX Stomp, and I ended up muting myself a couple of times when I went to my clean sound, which was a little bit embarrassing. If you mess up at a gig, do it with confidence, make it look intentional, nobody will ever know. So I need to move it around a little bit, but these are the kind of things that you learn in a real world setting. Last year I was using this Gear for Music double gig bag that is really good, and I still highly recommend them. The guitars are quite well protected. I threw in some extra foam in the bottom just to protect the strap pin from getting knocked. But I've been trying to get away with only taking one guitar recently, so I bought a much higher quality Gator gig bag. This is the Gator G Pro Go electric gig bag. They're about 120, 130 pounds, but really protect your guitar very well. There's 25mm padding throughout, neck protection, headstock protection, good quality handles, pockets everywhere. Even comes with a fold-up rain cover. Perfect if you live in the UK or Europe or Seattle. other places that rain. You can just fit so much stuff in this gig bag. In the pockets I keep set lists, vocal zones, spare plectrums, a couple of spare patch cables for my wireless, guitar cable, backup cable, camera stuff. You can fit a tablet in there as well. And you've still got loads more room. I also like to keep my microphone in the front pocket. And if you are doing gigs, I definitely recommend taking your own mic, because that way you don't end up tasting the last 500 singers on the house mic. It's an industry standard Shure SM58 with a green grill from Microphone Dude, so I know it's mine. There are these people here, I don't know if you can see that. They're a small little company. They seem like really nice people. They had a stand at last year's London International Guitar Show, which is where I met them, and I bought this. They've got an Etsy shop, and I'll link it down below. On the zip, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've got a spare set of earplugs. I also have a set on my keys. Before that, I would always forget them, but having them on my keys or on my gig bag means that I've got no excuse. And if they're around and I have them, I do use them. So in this top pocket, I like to keep spare set of strings. I'm tuned to drop B, and I like to use these 12 to 56 Magnum slinkies from Ernie Ball. They come with a wound third, which I love. It takes a bit of getting used to, but in low tunings, it will improve your life. I've also got these white D'Addario string cutters and winders, nice and easy to see in a dark venue. Before I talk about my guitar, I just wanted to quickly ask a huge favour. Please will you subscribe if you're enjoying this video. It helps me make more of this kind of stuff. Thank you so much. This is my main guitar that I'm using right now. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm going to be making an entire video on this guitar very soon. But it's made in the UK by LT Custom Guitars and is my own signature guitar, the JL1. I'll put a link in the description if you do want to find out more. It has lock-in tuners, so the string changes are very quick. I also change strings before every gig, so I'm hoping that if I keep a spare set in my gig bag, plus the string winder, I should be able to change the string within seconds if I do break a string at a gig. I had a rehearsal and then a gig with this setup a few nights ago, and I much preferred it to the Headrush FRFR rig. It was quick and easy to set up and just sounds good more quickly with less tweaking. It was easier for the rest of the band to hear, and if there is a cab at the venue like there was at the weekend, it's even less gear to take than my previous rig. I have the guitar on my back, these two small cases with shoulder straps, and I'm done. It sounds very good, it's more power than I'll need, and weighs very little. And I can get my entire rig in and out of anywhere in one trip. Tell me about your live rig down below. Are you still using big heavy amps, or are you going direct? Or are you doing some kind of hybrid of the two like me? If you do want to find out more information about the Orange Pedal Baby 100, I would definitely check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.